In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the oil on a 2010 Ford Escape. First thing, you need to open up the hood and look at your engine, and you need to understand the size of your engine. If you need help understanding what you have, this is what the drive belt looks like on a 2.5 liter. This is what a 3 liter looks like. The different size of engine requires different amounts of oil. Here's an example in the book. 2.5 liter is 5.3 quarts. 3 liter engine is 6 quarts of oil. You're gonna be using the 5W20 oil. So looking at the drive belt, I immediately see that I have 3 pulleys kind of stacked on top of each other. And it's exactly this one right here. It also has those other 3 that I can't show. It's tucked back there. So I have the 2.5, so then that means that I'm gonna be using 5.3 quarts of oil, and I'm gonna get 5W20. Okay, I got my supplies, oil, filter, and then these cool things I'm gonna drive the car up on instead of using a jack. I'm gonna try it out. All right, the Rhino ramps, it says it's good for 16,000 pounds, and it's as strong as steel. So I lined them up with the tires. I'm gonna go ahead and drive them up. Cool, pretty easy. Got it elevated off of the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and put these wheel stops behind the back wheels and park this thing. Okay, so I'm under the car right now. The oil pan has an oil plug on it, and it's 5/8. So I got my socket, and then I also have an open-ended wrench as well. So I'll figure out what works best for me. I'll show you what it looks like. Oil pan is directly underneath the engine, and it is dead center. There's the oil drain plug right here. All right, I have my drain container. This holds 4 gallons. So a little tip I learned this many years ago: make sure this is not closed when your oil starts to spill into it, because that's going to cause a big old mess. Okay, I'm going to break this and take it out and let the oil start draining. Always have some rags available to clean your hands off as it's draining, because it'll splash and make a mess. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes while it drains out. It's looking like it's slowing down significantly. Okay, so this is from the front side. This is the oil pan, and the oil filter is directly in front of it. So here's my front bumper, my license plate, front bumper, and then it immediately goes into oil filter. I got an oil filter wrench. This thing is awesome. Helps a lot because sometimes life likes to suck and these things get really tight just from the heat and the wear. So what you do is you just grab it with your filter wrench, and then you just start twisting. So much easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist this real slow, let it start dripping, and figure out where the drips are gonna fall. Okay, take 2. Had to get the container underneath it better. Okay, got it off. Gonna clean my hands up. Things you should check for: make sure there's no attachments or rings stuck to where the oil filter will screw in. Since this is a vertically mounted filter, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up, and then I'm gonna attach it and screw it back in. Okay, got that filled up. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on. The key to putting on oil filters is to only put it on hand tight. Over time, it's gonna tighten naturally with that heat as you drive. So it's gonna get really tight if you do any more like with a tool. In fact, it might even break. So only ever do hand tight, just like that. I'm using a towel because my hand's very slippery right now. And that's hand tight, so just where I wanna put it. Also, you'll notice the brand I got a Mobil 1 oil filter. These are definitely the best ones you can get. Okay, I just finished putting the filter on and the oil drain plug. So now that the system is all empty and closed off, next step is you need to put your new oil back in. So this is where you put it. You just screw it off and that's where you put the oil. As I stated earlier in the beginning, this vehicle takes 5.3 quarts. So I'm gonna start with the 5 quarts. I'm using Quaker State, high mileage, full synthetic. And then to get that last 0.3, I had to buy a single quart. And the way you measure this is you can see the fluid on the side. Next, I'm gonna pour all the used motor oil that I collected from my container into this empty jug now. This is also a good way to measure how much oil came out so that you can see, you know, what you replaced, because this vehicle I know for sure drips oil. So I will be able to see how much I actually lost since the last change. Okay, the engine holds 5.3 and it looks like I got out 4.5. So I lost a little under 1 quart, which is actually a lot less than I was expecting. Not too bad, but it does show that if you have a vehicle that leaks, you really do need to monitor the level, because driving on 1 quart less of oil than you're supposed to is not good for the engine. This is one of our company vehicles. Not my vehicle, I'm not the driver, but I will be reminding the driver to bring it in more often so that we can check the oil periodically, since we know it leaks, and we can kind of top it off as it gets low. And you just check with the dipstick on the engine. That's located right here. You just pull it out, wipe it, put it back in and pull it out, and then there's a threshold that says whether it's in the healthy range or not. And this is where the cross-hatching is that I was talking about. After every oil change, you always want to turn the vehicle on so that you can make sure that you don't have any oil leaking. Now that everything's going to be under system pressure. You also have like an oil reminder. I already cleared it. I'm so sorry. I don't remember how I cleared it, but it had something to do with messing with the setup and the reset buttons, and maybe info button. I was playing around with these and it said an alert right there that said, do you want to clear because your oil change is at 2%? I guess it's a percentage that counts down. So I said yes, and it put it back at 100%. Okay, overall, I loved these Rhino ramps. That worked out really well. It was convenient, and I didn't have to mess with jacking the vehicle up, finding the jack points. So that was cool. I really like that. I'll be using these a lot more. I hope that video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.